So I'm already writing a video about the Warriors this season and like going in depth on that, but I thought that I would make a reactionary video just because of, I haven't been here in 2 weeks, my bad. But yeah, let's just talk about this team because I leave for 2 weeks and none of these problems have been addressed. So let's talk. So I'm recording this after the New Orleans game that we just played on Tuesday, the second one of the back-to-back. Now, I'm not too worried about us losing that game because, I mean, we were playing 8 guys for the last, I think, like week. And so when you're playing 8 guys and you're playing them on the second half of a back-to-back, like, you're gonna eventually run out of gas. So that's exactly what we saw. Like, they couldn't hit shots in the fourth quarter. I'm already seeing tweets saying, oh, Steph is in clutch, he missed a shot in the fourth quarter, because, you guys know how that goes. But I mean, nobody could hit shots in the fourth quarter, so I mean, like, we're gonna, fault just Steph for that. But yeah, that's really the only reason we lost, is because guys are having to play so much more time because of the amount of players that have just been out. Like, we have no Kelly Oubre, we have no James Wiseman, we have no Damian Lee. Like, those are all key rotational guys for our team. Like, Kelly Oubre is a starter. He's a key starter, I might add. Damian Lee is a key bench player. And then we had Juan Toscano Anderson missed a couple games. Like, we've had a lot of Eric Paschall, I forgot. Like, another key big that has been missing the entire season. We've been playing the season with Kevon Looney as our only big, essentially. And that's just been a massive problem the entire season. It's just the lack of depth this team has. Some of that is attributed to the injury problems. Some of it is the fault of the front office for not making more moves at the trade deadline or in the buyout market and signings after free agency. Because we have 2 open roster spots and we're just not using them at all for anything. We have 2 disabled player exceptions for Klay Thompson and Marquise Chris, and we had Gary Payton Jr. on the team for 2 10-day contracts, and then we just never talked to that dude ever again, even though he was an amazing guy off the bench for defense mainly. But hey, we won 3 rings in 5 years, so what do I have to complain about, right? Because that's just been the thing that I've been told, and a lot of other Warrior fans have been told the entire season. Oh, you won 3 rings in 5 years, so what do you have to complain about? I think I said this in the trade deadline video. We literally had Bob Myers saying that he was going to be very active at the trade deadline, and his only moves were trading away the injured Marquise Chris, which we might get back in the offseason, and then trading Brad Wanamaker for cash. So I'm not really understanding. And that was after, okay, I'm not even gonna go on the moves that we could have made, and okay, that's the past. Let me just talk about right now and then the future. So right now, we do have a rest day, which is gonna be important for a team that's only has 8 healthy players. So we have Kelly Oubre, who he says he's gonna try to play through a torn ligament and a fractured wrist, which I have no idea what he's thinking, but hey, it's his decision. I don't know how that's going to impact him because it's his left wrist too, so that's going to be interesting to think about. But who knows, if he does play, and then we're going to hear, oh, Warriors playing injured players again. It's clockwork. Damian Lee, I believe, is out for health and safety protocol, so he's going to be back eventually. Eric Paschall still has a hip injury. I have no idea when he's going to be back. Like, this dude has been out for, I feel like I haven't watched him since last season. Like, he's barely played this year. And then James Wiseman is likely out for the year with the meniscus. So that's basically what we're looking at. So our available rotation right now is Steph Curry, Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green, Kevon Looney, Jordan Poole, Michael Mulder, Kent Bazemore, Juan Toscano Anderson, and Alan Smiley-Geach, which I don't even count him as a player. So basically 8 players. So yeah, that's not something to look forward to. Although we do end the season on a fairly easy schedule. We play OKC the next 2 games, then we play Utah and Phoenix, which I have no idea if Utah and Phoenix are going to be resting players. They probably are, but well, actually, they're both in a battle for the 1 seed, so who knows. But those are going to be 2 important games, and then we play the Pelicans again, and then we play against the Grizzlies as our last game of the season. So that's going to be important because we are now tied with Memphis for 8th. So that's going to be extremely important because we would prefer 7 or 8 to be our home. It doesn't look like we're gonna have 7th because Portland is now 3.5 games ahead of Golden State. And yeah, you don't want to be in 9 or 10 because you don't get home court, and that's single elimination. So you lose once and you're gone. 7 and 8 has double elimination, basically. 7 and 8 plays, whoever wins that game gets the 7th seed, and whoever loses that game plays the winner of 9 versus 10, and then whoever wins that game gets the 8th seed. So we would very much prefer to play Portland in that playing game, although Dallas and the Lakers are both tied for 6th, and they're only 1 game ahead of Portland. So if they were to somehow move down, which with the Lakers it's very possible because LeBron is going to be out for who knows how long, at least the next 2 games they said, but yeah, the Lakers still have a very real possibility of falling into the play-in bracket, which that would be awful because we want to play Portland. I don't know why people, like, some people literally replied to me on Twitter and said they want to play the Lakers in the play-in. I'm like, why? Why do you want to play the Lakers instead of the Portland Trailblazers? Like, we have good defenders to bottle up CJ and Dame, and even if that doesn't work, Portland is still the worst defensive team in the league. So why do you not want to take advantage of that? Like, it's just dumb. So I would hope that all of you guys want to play Portland in the play-in instead of the Lakers, but I think that's enough of that. So where does this leave us? Well, this leaves us with a whole lot of uncertainty because we have no idea who's going to be returning from injury, and we have no idea who's going to be playing in that game, which are very important because you would rather have Kelly Oubre over Kent Bazemore guarding Damian Lillard or CJ McCollum because Kent Bazemore is just going to foul them every play, which that's been a main problem. I got an idea. Let's talk about the problems that this team has. So I already talked about the lack of just moves that we've made this season to compensate for the lack of depth. But let's just talk about problems with the roster in general. So depth, I have a list in front of me. Depth, I already talked about. Coaching is a huge problem. That's gonna be its own separate video because I literally have that much to say about that. IQ, it kind of goes back to Kent Bazemore because he literally sometimes thinks he's Kobe and he just shoots turnaround fadeaways and brings the ball at the court and doesn't even look at Steph Curry. Like, IQ can be the team too, because there will be multiple possessions where Steph Curry doesn't even touch the ball. And I know, like, people that don't watch Golden State are gonna be like, how in the is that even possible? It's possible, trust me. And if you just think that I'm like, oh, he's just a Curry fan saying this, here's Rusty Buckets saying this, and he's not even a Golden State Warrior fan, he's a Chicago Bulls fan.
This is probably the biggest one. He continues to play Steph Curry as though the Warriors are a stacked team like they were in the past, i.e. they're consistently running him off ball while Andrew Wiggins and Kelly Oubre and even sometimes, for the love of God, Kent fucking Bazemore run isolations. There are multiple possessions the Warriors have with Steph on the court where he doesn't touch the ball. And that made sense when you had Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson, or a better version of Draymond Green who was actually able to hit threes, and wings who could actually shoot.
Shooting has been more inconsistent this season, which can be a problem, especially in a play-in situation where you could just have a night where you go cold and, you know, get knocked out of the playoffs. I don't like this. I don't like this system, bro. Like, if you're 7th seed, like, if you're a Portland fan, I know that you're terrified right now of facing Golden State because your entire season depends on 2 playing games where you could just go cold. So finishing has been a massive problem. Layups have been a massive problem. We're shooting 45% on layups this season. How do you even do that as a team? I don't know. Playmaking. Draymond Green and Steph Curry are really our only playmakers, but I mean, that's not too big of an issue at certain points. I wouldn't say that that's too big of an issue most of the time. Sometimes it can be an issue, but I wouldn't say that's really been a problem the entire season, just because of the amount of attention that Steph Curry is getting from defense, which that just creates plays on its own. So in terms of that, I don't think that's really that much of a problem. But the one glaring problem is that Steph Curry needs to drop 35 or more for the Warriors to just have a chance at winning the game. And that's been evident throughout the season. Like, in games where we started out the season where in every game that he didn't score 30, they lost. But then he started scoring 30 and they were still losing. And so when you put it like that, you realize that a lot of Golden State's season just depends on Steph Curry not going cold, which that's how it should be, but not to this extent. Like, if you're needing to put up 35, 40 points just to keep your team above 500, that's that's not ideal. But I feel like that's enough for now. I want to know what you guys think about this season and what the Golden State Warriors have been doing. Do you think that this team is ready for a play-in game, and even better, the playoffs? Or do you think that we're just gonna shit ourselves in the game? Let me know what you think. With all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the bell to be notified when I upload. Comment down below what you want to see next. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.